If there's one thing about the desert is it makes it really tough for photography. And the reason is because there's so much harsh light, harsh shadows, it's tough to find that balance. And this right now is the middle of the day. It is the worst time to take photos when you're outdoors, when the light is the harshest and there's shadows and there's wind and things are moving. So what I'm gonna do in this video is this is gonna be more of a creative video. So I'm gonna take this camera and I'm gonna get about 9 shots. I'm gonna bring them in the Lightroom, I'm gonna edit them up, and I'm just gonna see what I can get, what kind of photography I can get in the worst, pretty much the worst possible conditions during the day. As you can see, the sun's out, shadows are dark. We'll see how this goes. All right, let's go. And I'm gonna be taking all photos with this 1970s era manual focus Nikon macro lens that I can couple with my Sony a6300 crop sensor digital camera. This is one of the sharpest lenses I've ever used, and it's about 50 years old. Well, there you go. There's some decent shots out of this guy. You know, for the second time I was this close, I would do that little thing between my pointer and thumb to show this, you know, the small, I was really close to springing for a full frame Sony digital camera, like the A7R2 or something. I always buy used to save money. Cameras depreciate really, really quickly. I never buy a new piece of equipment ever, unless it just makes overwhelming sense for some reason. Anyway, I was so close to buying that, but the more research I did, I mean, this guy, this 6300 and the 6500 is the same way. This is like a hidden gem. This is a crop sensor, but it produces like 85 to 90% of what the cameras that cost 2 and 3 times as much produce, especially for something that I do. So it's just not worth the upgrade. And as you can see, with a little effort in Lightroom, you can make some decent shots. And that was during the worst part of the day. So I thought I hope that's kind of cool to see, a little, I don't know, illuminating, interesting, I don't know. But yeah, I wanted to get a little bit more creative in this video, so that's what happened. A6300, this is not the lens I shot with. I put the other lens back on, that Nikon lens. Fantastic piece of glass. And since we're talking about photography, I'll go ahead and show you everything that's in our camera bag and how we produce these videos. This, of course, is what I've been talking about, the A6300. This is our 18-105 f4 lens, which is on this body probably 99% of the time. It's autofocus, it's image stabilized, very high quality lens. I like this combo a lot. And what I just took those photos with in this video is this guy here. This is the Nikon 55 f2.8, made in the 70s, manual focus only. I have this little coupler that goes from a Nikon mount to a Sony mount, so that's how I can use this lens on my Sony digital camera. And speaking of that coupler, this is another Nikon lens. This is a 300mm f4.5. Again, this is a manual focus lens, a little tripod ring here, so it balances the camera better. I just take this coupler off of the Nikon, the 55mm, put it on the 300mm when I want to use this lens. I don't use this very often, but it's nice to have when I do. Next is our super wide angle. This is a fisheye that you can kind of see, maybe. Yeah, this is a fisheye. This is a Rokinon 8.5mm fisheye. This is more of like an art lens. I wouldn't normally use this unless I want that kind of a shot. Lots of distortion with like the rounded edges to landscapes and things like that, especially if I tilt the camera up or down. This is a really cool lens though, for very specific purposes. Again, wouldn't use this too much, but it's cool to have. And this was our workhorse. This is our Canon G7X, yes. This is what we filmed a lot of our travel videos on with this little GorillaPod here. We don't use this too much, honestly, anymore because we use the iPhone 11, which is what I'm filming this on, so we obviously can't show you that. But the iPhone pretty much took the place of this. The one thing that we still use this camera for are time lapses. This is a great camera for time lapses. I could just set this out wherever I want and get a time lapse of basically anything. So this is a cool option for us. And last but certainly not least, we have our DJI Mavic Pro that I actually bought off of one of our viewers. Thanks again, by the way. Works great. I love this thing. I never thought I'd use it, but now that I have it, it's really cool. This is the DJI Mavic Pro. There's like a Mavic 2 out and a bunch of other options. I think we're gonna stick with this for a while. It does a nice job. Okay, that's it for this video. I hope you got something from it. A couple of tips to shoot photography in the desert. One, when you can, don't shoot in the middle of the day like I did. I did it on purpose just to challenge myself. But when you can, shoot in the morning and in the evening when the sun is deeper in the horizon, the colors are a lot more balanced, and the light is so much smoother. Also, consider a neutral density filter like I have on my camera. The point of a neutral density filter is to cut the light coming in through the lens that's going to hit your sensor. And I have one of the ones that you can rotate and adjust the light coming in. So that has a couple of different benefits. One, it cuts the light like I just said. And two, when that light is cut, I can open up the aperture on my lens, blur that background, and get a lot of subject separation, even in the daylight. So that's a huge benefit of using a neutral density filter. And number three, when it's really bright, try to get close to your subject. If you noticed, many of my shots were close. There were a couple that were more landscape shots, but most of them I got right in there. And that helps to minimize the shadows and gives the sensor a nice balanced exposure to expose for. So you don't have to worry about the lights and the darks and getting that dynamic range right. You just have to worry about one set of light in general, and it'll make it easier on your camera to focus. So anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching, and I don't know, I guess we'll see you next time from the desert. Oh, do you like these types of videos, these creative types of videos, or would you rather just see us going about our day doing stuff? Comment below, let me know, and I will take that under consideration in the future. And one more thing, Instagram challenge on Instagram, link in description below. If you're not in that challenge, do so now. I think you're gonna like it. It's just something to do to have fun. All right, now our tea kettle's going, so I have to get this.